Did it anyways. I'm sorry, guys. Good morning. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties, but it'll be good, I promise. And okay, perfect. Good morning. Good morning. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon. Is it morning? Is it afternoon? What do y'all consider 11? I say it's still morning because it's not after 12 yet. But you know. Let's see if I can refresh. I still want to be able to see if you all have any comments. How y'all doing today, beautiful people? So we're gonna do. I got a question um, in my comments, and I had a family member ask me how to make crispy salmon skin. So I thought, why not take today as the perfect opportunity to educate the people on how I would do it. Now, again, let me preface this by saying you can do and cook however you dang well please. Literally, you don't have to follow my directions. This is just encouragement. This is just giving you another option or a place to start you off as you are becoming a better chef or a better you in the kitchen. And so for me, this is how I do it. This is just there we go, finally. Take it how you want to take it. But we know that I am a cast iron girly, right? So cast iron is not for everybody. So I thought, so we're not using the air fryer, which I would not cook. Those type of things. Novelty things in the air fryer, yes. Things like Maine, poultry, maybe under certain circumstances, salmon not being one. Primarily because I feel like it overheats it and it overcooks it and it just doesn't give it its proper time to kind of do the thing. So I like me a nice good old cast iron, but not everybody has a cast iron. And if you don't have, to me, a gas fire stove, cast iron can be a bit tricky to use because you have a coil, electric, and this will get really, really hot. So I'm used to temperature control with the cast iron because I feel like I can control it better. I usually work really good on like medium to low heat, which gives me better temperature control because I know that this is going to get extremely hot. However, and I preface this by saying, however, not a lot of people are really good with cast iron, and I understand that. Not a lot of people understand how to use cast iron, and I understand that as well. So we have your typical stainless steel. Now, I didn't just pull these out of a rabbit's hat. I literally have had these for years. This is real stainless steel. There is no coating on it. It's really good. If you, it actually says on the back. It's from Target. It's the Target Giada de Laurentici. I don't want to butcher her name because she's a very good chef. But Giada from the Food Network, if you know who I'm talking about. She's kind of short, petite Italian lady, very, very awesome chef. This is really good for induction sustainable cooking, which means if you don't have gas and you have electric, it's really good for that. It'll have has a nice, even, flat, rounded bottom, which typically in induction cooking, they don't really have the center because that's where the all of the technology is, but they usually have the outer ring, which is very good. So if you have one of those stoves, I would say start by getting something that says it's for an induction stove. It can this can actually go in the oven as well, and there's no coating in this, right? So I brought these out, and I'm going to start with the education purposes of the pans that you use first because it's going to help you get that crispy skin. So, contrary to popular belief, an air fryer does quote unquote does it air fry? Yes, but at high temperature distributes a lot of heat in a box that is concentrated into one area. Some people add oils, some people use air fryers so that they don't have to have oils, and it's really good for that purpose. There's a fan in there that blows high concentrated heat into the one particular item or items in the basket that you're cooking with. And so we're not using that. So we need to make sure what we are using is going to give us and yield us what we are desiring, right? So the first thing is knowing your pans. This one is a stainless steel coated pan. So it has a ceramic coating for non-stick purposes, used a lot in restaurants, very popular amongst people these days. And I have one. I actually have two. And so I'm going to use this because I feel like this is what most people have. And so, just for translation purposes, if you're doing this at home, I feel like you will probably understand better, if you will, with me using the type of tools that you also may have at home. There was a young lady in the coloring community who wanted to begin to color, and she bought the most expensive, biggest coloring set, and then when she sat down to follow a tutorial, she really got discouraged because the things that she had was not, and she had invested a lot of money, might I say. I'm not going to say the products, but she had invested a lot of money and they weren't the same color. And so she kind of got a little bit discouraged and it didn't translate for her. So I want to take a step back and I want to give you all, I want to come down, not saying come down, but I want to meet you where you are. And I know for most people, they use this. I don't preface this. I'll preface this by saying, no, even though I am a chef and I've been taught in professional kitchens, I went to culinary school, as a lot of you know, this is what we learned to cook with. And no, it's not my favorite. Everybody can have their personal favorites. I was always taught and raised personally by my mother to use cast iron. So a lot of my family, we're from the South. We do a lot of cooking with cast iron. I am an at-home, outside chef. I will cook outside in the summertime in heartbeat before turning on this stove. I mean top and bottom. So I literally can take this outside to a flaming fire. Nothing happens. I know how to control the fire, so therefore it's really good for that. But if you're not good with cast iron, I can meet you where you are and we can use our handy dandy non-stick ceramic coating for today. Now, this is called pan searing. So we're going to pan sear, and then you can also broil it. You can finish it in the oven, if you will, or if you just want to go ahead and pan sear it all the way completely, that's perfectly fine. I have this cooking sheet. If you don't have a cooking sheet like this in your home, what are you doing? This has been used, abused, loved on, washed, rewashed. It has a life, okay? Stop throwing away your pans when they get like this. This is fine. You can throw some foil on top of it and use it. You know, everything does not need to be pristine, shiny, and pretty, because why? This is perfectly fine. So we're not going to use this, but if you wanted to, you could put it in a broiler and finish it off as a way to ensure that you get that crisp as well, which I'll probably do one that way so you can see it. So now that we've gotten the introduction out of the way with our pans, I'm going to go ahead and move these out of my way. Second off, we're going to talk about the fish. The fish is very important. I also saw a lovely chef. I can't think of her name off the top of my head. She's also on Food Network. I follow her. She's an Italian chef. She has the dark hair, does a lot of like the culinary competition. She's an Iron Chef as well. She thought to mention about the type of salmon you purchase, and I thought that was very good information to pass along to you all as well. Even though I kind of knew it, a lot of the times I forget that the purpose of my platform is to educate, encourage, and to teach, and I don't feel like I'm doing that to my fullest capacity because I overlook certain things and I just jump right in. So, starting the year, We're going to be doing things a lot differently. So I decided to keep the package because I may mention that I live in the Midwest and sometimes it's hard to find really good fresh seafood and produce for that matter sometimes. Sometimes, not all the times. I was actually in the grocery store and this happened to me firsthand, and so I thought I should share this guy with you all. So this is a wild caught, very important, wild caught. Although this is the market size. Let's start with where I got it from. I got it from Walmart. So you have a Walmart in your area and you don't have the option to have fresh salmon. Like some people have fresh salmon. We do have fresh salmon. I'm not saying we don't. What I'm saying is sometimes it's not the best, right? And when I say by the best, I'm gonna go into further detail. The quality, the cut, the source, the type. So there are different types of salmon. Salmon, whatever your preference is for enunciation. This one happens to be a wild caught, which is very important. It's not farm raised. It's wild caught, sustainably caught, right? Alaskan sockeye salmon, which is very important because it tells you the source of it tells you the type of salmon and how it's sourced. So we don't want to get farm raised salmon, first of all, because the colors are very different. So you get a darker, richer, more natural flesh when you have the darker fleshed, more reddish color salmon, meaning it ate the proper diet. Which is very, very important, okay? It consumed the proper diet in its natural habitat and was caught wildly, right? Second thing is the Alaskan sockeye salmon, which means it's higher in nutrient than just the regular Pacific salmon. Okay, so the water is swimming is also important. If you turn it on the back, you will begin to, from the bottom of the nutritional facts, you can also see a little bit more sourced information, such as the distributor is Walmart, okay? It's a product of the United States. Let's make sure we are not buying fish from China for sustainability purposes as well as cultural practices, which is very, understandable cultural practices. We don't have to get into that. And secondly, we want to make sure that the ingredients in the salmon is just salmon. You don't need any salt water. You don't need any sugar. Like you want to try to get, if you can't get raw, fresh, you want to try to get as close to it as possible. Okay. And then lastly, but not least, this is a certified sustainable food source, meaning that they caught, it says this product comes from a fishery that has been independently certified to the MSC standard for well-managed and sustainably fryery. Okay, so, or fishery, I'm sorry, not fryery, fishery. And it has thawing instructions and all those good things. You can choose to follow them if you choose to. Not necessary if you don't want to. But I just thought we would get into that product knowledge because we want to educate ourselves on what we're eating. Now, I am going to dry my salmon because I don't want to cook wet salmon. Like, I don't want to. Well, I don't want to, right? So first things first, I'm going to turn on my skillet and I'm going to get it ready. And I'm going to turn on my broiler and I'm going to get that ready. Now I will be sauteing or pan frying my salmon with olive oil. That's my preference of oil. This is where we can part ways if you do so choose to. If you're not a person who likes olive oil, choose the preference of oils you like, whether that's butter, whether that is canola oil, whether that is vegetable oil, whether that is coconut oil. Understand that they have higher smoke points And so some burn faster than others. Some carry different flavors other than others. Choose what you see fit. So again, this is probably just water. It didn't list any other ingredients. And the purpose of well, not the only purpose, but one of the purposes of this video is that we want crispy skin. So we want to give the, I guess, texture and illusion that we did an air fry without doing an air fry, right? So we're going to need to get this salmon nice and crispy. So we dried it off. Oh, there's a bone. It has, it's pretty decent. Doesn't have any, like, it smells like salmon. It doesn't smell like fishy or anything. It smells really good, actually. This would probably be a good poaching salmon to make some salmon croquettes or salmon salad. Lots of different things you could do with salmon. And it's an excellent alternative to, steak and chicken and all those things. Now, this is not the best, but it's pretty dang close, might I add. I did go to a market and I was gonna get some, but I figured if we're not gonna go so deep down the rabbit hole, let's stay surface. So our pan is nice and hot. I can hear my broiler kicking up. So we're going to reverse cook this. So most times you will see people say, no, cook the salmon with the skin side down first. We're not doing that. Why aren't we doing that, you may ask? Is because we want to preserve our skin. We want crispy skin. So we want to touch and cook the skin as least as possible. So I'm just going on ahead and seasoning the flesh side of the salmon with this all-purpose seasoning by Morton's. And I'm going to rub it in. And I'm going flesh side down. Again, you can tell it's non-stick because look at how the oil is rolling around. It's already smoky. And now that the skillet is hot, I do want that initial heat, so I'm not going to reduce it. Skin side down, okay? I mean, not skin side, flesh side down first. Now, while that's cooking, we want to clean up your pan. All we're going to do today is salmon. How do you say it? Salmon. And I probably will add some lemon at the end. But you know I didn't get my presentation plate right. So let's get that together. I think it's open down. We do have a lemon, so we're going to finish it off with. just makes everything better. And I would even say if you're cooking this for someone else, I wouldn't assume that somebody likes lemon. Not everybody does. So I would say just keep it in a nice little wedge and let them add it as their finishing touch. If you're serving it to someone else. Because I'm one of those people. I don't need lemon on my salmon. I actually prefer it without it. It just tastes so much better to me. But again, my own personal preference. So now I'm on medium, high, so I'm in between numbers 5 and 4. And I just want you to take a look at the fish. So you can see it's beginning to turn white, right? But the inside is not cooked. And we still haven't touched the actual skin, right? Only one side is cooked. It has a nice sear on it, right? You're starting to get some of that white out. Some people would say that's overcooked. Me, I like my fish cooked. I just don't like it dry, if you will. So now is when you want to take it and flip it over to the other side. Again, have a nice tear on the outside. Now you could either prop it in the broiler, but I want to sear it in a pan for a little while. Hot meat. This one. Because I know it's not done. You can see that it's not done, right? So now I'm going to take it skin side down. Skin side up, I'm sorry. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this one in the broiler because I know it's not done. It's only done on the top surface, but the middle hasn't finished yet. And I'm going to put it in the broiler on high. I just wanted to sear off the skin so that it doesn't separate. And because you dried the fish, like you patted it dry, there's no moisture barrier in between. So it'll have a really good chance at sticking and staying on your actual fish. I'm going to go ahead and cover it so the internal side or internal part of the fish cooks. I'm not going to add any more oil because salmon has its own oil. It's one of those oily fishes. Remember, y'all, I'm vertically challenged, so sometimes I have to knock some things down and get what I need. But I just realized I wanted to add some dill to it. I love dill on my cinnamon. Some people like butter. Some people like lemon. You can actually make a compound butter with dill, lemon, yeah. A little Cajun spice up your life. And what I'll probably make with this is some pasta, like a creamy Cajun pasta with some spinach and some dried tomatoes. It was Meatless Monday week. We're being intentional today. Oh, I can hear my salmon. Look at that. Crunchy. Let's check and see. It's definitely done. So then you have this one. You have the skin. Crunchy. Okay. You have this one, crunchy as well. Sorry guys, I was trying to turn it off. And so now we would just plate it again. I wanted to show you both ways because when the person specifically asked me the questions, I could see their mind rolling as if like, what is the correct way, right? In cooking, there is no correct way. So a form of creativity is a form of art. Whatever your personal preference is, like my mother loves broiled fish. Absolutely loves broiled fish. She would not pan-sear this, right? But that's her personal preference. To me, I don't like it like that, right? So you have to either meet in the middle and or as the cook, you make the executive decision. But here you go. So you have the full fillet that was partly cooked in the broiler, the other side not, and then you have the full fillet that was pan-seared in the pan on the top. Now again, most people would say this is overcooked. Honestly, in my personal opinion, this is just me, okay? This is me. This is my personal opinion. It's your preference. I like my fish to look like this, okay? It's not dry because look, there's moisture. Look, can you see it? There's moisture. I'll bring it closer. There's moisture. It's not dry, okay? It's not dry. It's something that happens when fish gets cooked. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But it's not dry. And then at the end, if you want to finish it off with butter, a lemon wheel, a lemon wedge, it's totally up to you. Let's go ahead and try this. So this is the dill one. And again, look at that color. Look how pink it is. And again, this is the Alaskan sockeye salmon. So the source, the type of fish, all that plays into account when you are looking for a desired result, right? And it's nice and crispy. Again, the whole point really was to show the crispiness of the skin. Can you see how crispy that is? Can you hear it? I'm not wasting any salmon. It's too expensive, but it tastes delightful. That's really good. So yeah, so again, nice pan seared salmon. The point was the cooking method, right? How to saute it without it being dry. And sorry, I just can't stop eating. And to get that crispy skin, you know, some people love the skin of fish. Some people don't. But this was just me showing you all another way to look at salmon, how to cook it. Again, understanding that the source, the waters, all of that matter. And picking out, in my opinion, salmon or fish or seafood in that manner. Always remember to get wild caught seafood. It was something that was drove into my brain when I was in culinary school, and I didn't have any like understanding of it prior to that, but it does make for a better outcome as far as flavor goes. Like wild caught fish tastes so much more flavorful. I know some people say they don't like the fishy taste. There are ways to get around that. The lemon, you could have, you know, squeeze the lemon juice on it prior to cooking it. That would reduce some of the fishy flavor. You can do different marinades, different vinaigrettes, depending on how you're going to consume it. I may eat one filet with a salad, and I may eat one filet later on with some pasta, you know. But again, a different way than using the air fryer. Not everybody likes air fryers. I understand that. Not everybody likes cast iron. I understand that. So just a different cooking method for you with what you may be learning and where you may be learning. So I am done for today. This was very nice. Thank you, Tiff, for that question. I found it very valuable. So keep your questions coming. Drop down in the comment section. If you don't feel comfortable, you think you have a silly question, email me at thechefsarah.com and drop your questions there. We can chat. I can do a nice little video for you on a Meatless Monday and just kind of educate other people, because you may not be the only one with that question. There's 50 trillion people in the world, right? Trillions of people in the world. You are not the only one with that question, I guarantee you. In a world that is so unkind, please be kind. I know I have fish in my teeth because I can feel it. But anyway, in a world that is so unkind, please be kind. We need more kind people in this world. Give people grace. You never know what they may be going through. And again, as always, be blessed and be a blessing to others. You all have an amazing day. So next time, I'll see you Thursday. I will be coloring on Thursday. Coloring, I'm not sure yet. But the last time we colored, I actually forgot to finish it. But the last time we colored, I had a crash out moment. So I'll color to keep from doing that, okay? But till next time, y'all, I'll see you later. Have a blessed one. Bye. I gotta walk across the camera to turn it off.